This is my 1986 Oldsmobile Toronado parts car. That's right, it's a parts car. And I know that might be kind of crazy to say. I mean, look at the condition of it. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, it actually runs better than my red one. And you could be like, Joe, why don't you just switch to this car? Why don't you, leave the red one behind, sell it, and just focus on this one? There's a lot of problems with this one. Nonetheless, I mean, when you buy a Toronado, it is most likely going to have some issues. It's most likely going to need some fixes, and it's most likely going to need some, adjustments. The Toronado is always known as a big car, a big boat, a big machine. But behind this thing, I mean, the redesign was completely different. When you look at this thing, it looks more of like a Japanese competitor car made by Dodge or some other company than Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile, they were really new to making these really tiny cars, which also meant they had to put a new engine in them because there was a gas crisis going on in 1986. We can't be putting V8s in these things. They won't be able to afford it. That's why they put a 3800 Buick engine inside of here, which makes around 137 horsepower respectively. And I say respectively because I don't respect it. I would have rather they put V8s inside of these cars to keep on, the rocket engine, Toronado look like the 1966. But unfortunately, that's not the case that they went with. Because with this 3800 engine, it struggles a little bit. Now this car I got from Kentucky, and it is 150,000 something miles. I mean, when you look at it from far away, which you are very far away right now, like the camera is super far away right now because I'm doing a nice little cinematic zoom, it looks quite nice. And mind you, I did not even clean the car. I actually spent so much time getting this camera set up ready that I wasn't able to clean the car, and I'm running out of daylight. So as you can see right here, you have hidden headlights. And these hidden headlights, of course, they go up. And it's it's really cool. I'm just gonna show you because it's really cool. Look at that. It's beautiful. I love that design. Not to mention you have your running lights right here. And of course, the front of the Toronado is not the best part. I like to say that the back part's the best. It's got a really cool look to it. Also, did I mention this model has a moonroof? That's right. And it's not stock. It's not a stock moonroof, which makes me wonder. Some guy bought a Toronado, saw that they came with moonroofs. Some guy at the dealership was like, we don't have one with moonroof. So he ended up basically putting one in himself. And it's a little jank, but it actually still works pretty okay. It leaks. If you were wondering how a 1986 moonroof, works, it's like belts and like really annoying stuff. I don't really want to get into the mechanics of a sunroof because that's really annoying. I don't know why I'm calling it a sunroof. It's called a moonroof. Don't know what the difference is. I'll put it like right here. I don't really know where I am on the screen right now. I hope I'm actually in the picture. Now you may or may not see here that this car does not have stock rims. And of course, why would it have stock rims? I swear every single Toronado I see ends up having different rims. That's because Oldsmobile picked the most ugly rims that they could put on this vehicle. Some wire looking one and some kaleidoscope looking one. And those were universal for many of the Oldsmobile vehicles back then, which they just didn't look that great. So what this guy ended up doing, he put Monte Carlo rims on it and he had a 3D printed Oldsmobile hubcap logo, which looks kind of cool. Honestly, I mess with it. It looks very nice. It looks very stock. So yeah, furthermore, this is a very nice piece right here. If I did have my remote for my camera right now, I'd further zoom in. I'll show some B-roll right here. The logo for the Toronado is actually very nice and red on this model. Mine has turned into a piss yellow or a gold, whatever you want to call it. It does not look that great. There's a couple dents here, a couple like scratches. I mean, what do you expect from a 40-year-old car? I don't really expect all that much. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with the condition of this vehicle. As you can see here on the Oldsmobile Toronado, we have some nice little pinstripes. These are not stock. This entire car was repainted white. I think it originally was white, but there were no pinstripes like this originally. And don't get me wrong, I think the pinstripes are a very nice look on it. Kind of reminds me of a Speed Racer, if you ever watched Speed Racer. This is a luggage rack on the back of the Oldsmobile Toronado. It was, oh my God, my hair. It was a selectable feature just in case you wanted to go on Christmas vacation and put your luggage on the back of this thing. I don't know how necessarily you would see who's behind you. You probably would only have to utilize the side mirrors. As you can see right here, this turned yellow. This happens a lot. It's supposed to be red. It happens through the years. As you can see, I have a Wisconsin collector plate on it. Now, of course, I would have my red Toronado here, and I much rather would talk about my red Toronado. But unfortunately, we have lost the third gear inside of that vehicle, so we need to rebuild that transmission, and it's out of commission for a while. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to show it at the Oldsmobile Homecoming or the Oldsmobile Nationals. We're not sure yet. So on here, of course, you have your Oldsmobile fuel injection, which was a big thing at the time. I mean, fuel injection is no laughing matter. Now, of course, you now have your thing that says Toronado. It originally should say Oldsmobile, I'm pretty sure, on the back, but it's kind of a gamble. You hardly see Tornados with the correct emblems where they should be. And in fact, I took off the Oldsmobile part on my red one because I kind of like the element of surprise. Nobody really knows what the vehicle is. And when I say Oldsmobile, people think of a grandpa car. But when you look at my red one, does that really look like a grandpa car? Yes. Anyway. So without further ado, let's get into it. Also, this thing has a key fob, which means I can start the car up, open the trunk, and lock and unlock. Isn't that cool? That's not stock, by the way. See what I'm talking about? It's way less original than my red one. And my red one has a Camaro exhaust. So let's get into the Oldsmobile Toronado. As you can see here, there is a digital dash, and that is one of the coolest features of this car. Honestly, I think it kind of makes the car. Oldsmobile made a very cool digital dash design for the Toronado, and I think it is one of the coolest digital dash designs besides the Nissan 280Z, I think. I could be wrong there. The Nissan made a very cool digital dash, and honestly, I'm very jealous that Oldsmobile didn't make a cooler one, but you know, it's GM. They're always just following the leader. So as you can see right here, sitting inside of the vehicle, we have our digital dash. We have our abnormally large wheel, which is a very cool wheel on the Toronado. There are two versions of wheels, I'm pretty sure. The sports wheel and then the boring wheel, which has 3 horn buttons on it, just in case you like road rage. So further ado, let's look at the UI here. Let's get into it. So this is how you turn on your headlights, your running lights, and this is the dimmer for your dash, just in case it's nighttime. You don't want your dash, oh my God, smokes in my eyes. Just in case you want to dim the dash at night if it's too bright. You also have a Twilight Sentinel. Don't ask me what it does, because I actually know, I just remembered. What it does is it turns on the headlights automatically for you. That is some pretty cool stuff for the 80s. On top of that, we have an odometer trip button. We have a trip reset, English metric, that's right, and a system monitor. When you push the system monitor button, you get this cool thing. Isn't that cool? And that's when you hold system monitor. When you push system monitor, it's supposed to tell you things that are wrong with your car. I usually get the electrical system thing that it usually says. That is a very common error in these cars because there's a lot of electrical things that can fail in this car because it's very electrical. Speaking of electrical, we have power seats. I know what you may be thinking. Joe, you said power seats. Why are we looking at this? Well, this is how you actually hold on. All right, good as new. So all you have to do here, backward, forward, down, up, up, up. Yeah, this one's a little stiff. The switches are way too stiff. You have your tilt, you have your other tilt, and that's a lot of customization for a chair, but I'm not even done yet. That's right, on this model, you not only have all of that adjustment, but you also have a lumbar support and a recliner, which is pretty crazy. And that's on both sides of the Toronado. You get both of that. Shout out to Lipton, by the way, really good tea. Go in here, we also have a really cool shifter. And this shifter, oh my gosh, it is so cool. It is like, oh my gosh. The 80s was the time, let me tell you. And it's a shame I never got to experience it. Look at that. So on here, of course, you have your park, you know, your reverse, your neutral, your drive, and then your overdrive. That's right, this vehicle had an overdrive function, which also helped along with the gas crisis in America. You could basically coast in this car. You ever coasted on a bike? Yeah, that's what that is. I'm sure you probably know what overdrive is. I'm not gonna keep on talking about it. Right under a little black panel right here, you have a nice equalizer. Not many cars have this. It's pretty rare for me to see it. I know my first blue one had it. This car has it, but my red one does not. So that's one of the things that this thing one-ups out of my red one, along with a working power antenna, which is so nice. I plan on getting a power antenna on mine fixed someday. But yeah, that is a very cool feature. And right next to it, we have our cassette deck. Try finding a Delco cassette deck that actually works, I dare you. Like, I dare you, I'm not even kidding. I also forgot to mention that this car has electronic mirrors, which means that you can adjust your mirrors as you can in you know, a lot of cars these days have that. So I thought, you know, why not bring it up? It has electronic mirrors. The guy who had this car prior added this little thing, these little wide angle lenses, which are actually kind of helpful, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not a big fan of them because they look like I'm driving a bus, and I already get enough slack and enough crap from people saying I drive a boat. Now I'm sorry, this thing is smaller than a Cadillac Eldorado, so I don't want to hear it. Now, when I open the car here and say I want to get into the passenger seat, I have to do this, and then I just have to get in there. There's not that much space, and for someone who's like 6'2", 6'1", yeah, not gonna happen. Unless I like man spread to the max here, you're not gonna be too comfortable in the back. In the back, you have 2 ashtrays included with your own cigar lighter, because in the 80s, what is the 80s without smoking copious amounts of cigarettes? Furthermore, I forgot to mention that this guy installed an actual cup holder inside of this vehicle, which I'm gonna get into, because guess what? This thing has the poorest excuse of a cup holder I've ever seen in my life. What is that? What is that, Oldsmobile? Now, of course, I would flip that over, but the button is actually stuck and I can't do anything. And I don't want to force it, because then that's how you break things. And trust me, I've broken too many things to do that. So let's not do that. So that's the poor excuse of the cup holder. Naturally, inside of, when you flip it over, you'd have a cassette storage, and you would also have just a blank one. So you have cassette storage, a very crappy like can holder for like soda, which would then spill all over your shifter, might I add, if that happens. By the way, the shifter is backlit, so at night, those start lighting up, which is a really cool thing because it's green tinted. Everything in the car is so well color coordinated. I'll put up a picture to show you what it looks like at night when you're driving this thing. It feels like you are in Knight Rider. I love Knight Rider, by the way. Really cool show. It's not a Pontiac, but you know, you get my point. Here's another view of those beautiful rims. I feel like it does not really match the persona. I mean, I feel like I should be like pimping or something. I should be in Las Vegas with like a pimp cane with these wheels. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but some people do like them. I'm not gonna judge if you're a fan. It's cool stuff. So over here, further going, we have a nice Oldsmobile logo right there. Very nice, very nice. And once again, you got your open, close. You got manual lock and unlock, just in case those things break, which is very helpful because mine have broken, so it's very helpful. You got your window, and you got your, tilt adjustments. You got everything that the other one has. Mind you, this one has a extra speaker for the radio. And by the way, I forgot to mention dimensional sounds. The best way I could say that this sound system sounds after 40 years is banging a bat against a trash can, feeding it through a can with a line, and then putting it through like an amp distorter. So yeah, it doesn't sound that great. And mind you, these were made by Bose. I don't have a great relationship with Bose speakers. And honestly, this doesn't change my judgment whatsoever. The guy who owns my red one previously, he actually did the work and put in some nice Pioneer speakers in the back, but it looks stock, which I appreciate very much. It sounds great. It sounds so good. I love it. This thing though, ugh. Without this equalizer, this thing would sound like hot garbage. I found a way to EQ it to make it sound a little better, but even then the bass just takes over at some random parts and then it quiets down. So I have no idea what's going on there. I barely know. The door is shaking on the car. I don't know if you know that. Let's look at the engine. Now these engines are well known as the 6-cylinder red. And as you can see right there, you can see the red dot. They call that the red dot 30. It's definitely an engine, I'll tell you that. It's pretty low horsepower, pretty low torque, and pretty low everything. Pretty susceptible out of leaking oil. I've never seen this car not leak oil. Thankfully, this one is not smoked. So yeah, here's the engine. This is what it looks like. The Buick 3800, 137 horsepower respectively. You also have your windshield washer fluid right here underneath this nice little plastic. You got your relay center. You got, I forgot what this is for. This is the intake. That's where you put your battery. And this is where you put your coolant. I think a lot of people know this stuff, so I'm not gonna waste a lot of time explaining everything inside of a vehicle. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the third-party sunroof he put in. Now, the third-party sunroof is pretty cool, but it really sucks. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it's not too great. So here's the sunroof. I'm gonna show you how it works. All right, so here's the sunroof. As you can see, it does that. It opens. Wow. Would you look at that? Oh, I just got my hands full of oil. Oh. All right, now closing it. It's really slow and it scares you every time, let me tell you. And then you hear that little latch. Now that latch does nothing because it still leaks. Also, the headliner is also leaking. The headliner is leaking, what am I saying? The headliner is sagging inside of this vehicle. And that's another thing I like about my red one. It has this custom vinyl like thing that the guy made. It's so it won't do that. There's the button that you push. I mean, it's pretty simple and it works. Also right there, you can see a nice little sunglass holder and some lights so you can see what you're doing at night. Also, the mirror is an adhesive mirror, which is pretty interesting. Don't know why they did an adhesive mirror, but I mean, I think it was kind of popular in the 80s. Correct me if I'm wrong. But sure, you got your fans, your AC, upper, lower, front, or rear, defoggers. And here's your radio. You got volume, seek, scan, power, tune, AM, FM, and AM stereo, which is the ever heard in my life because AM is not naturally stereo. So you're just duplicating two channels of mono audio to each other and giving it a specific EQ effect to make it sound better. Your presets, you get pretty cool. So a nice little test through my lavalier microphone on what the radio sounds like. Now, of course, I do have a Bluetooth receiver with this thing, so I can play my own music that I like. But let's just find a station and hope we don't get copyright. All right, so that follows up the test because I'm not getting any copyright. All right, so we're inside of the Toronado now, and you can see the digital dash quite clear now. You got your tack button. After you push the tack button, it will just remind you what car you're driving, just in case you forgot, which is the Toronado. You got your information center right there, which will tell you all the issues that are wrong with your vehicle. Mind you, this thing actually has a code scanner embedded inside of it. If you do a very special cheat code with all these buttons that I can't remember right now, but I'll put a demo video of it working thanks to the Oldsmobile Information Excellence, whatever it is called. They show a demo of it working, which is really cool.
Toronado electronic story. In addition to the wide array of driver information functions, there are many others which operate continuously, monitoring systems and components, storing data, correcting problems, and when necessary, advising the driver. For example, a body computer is the brains of an electronic system which receives, analyzes, and responds to information transmitted by sensors located throughout the vehicle. A body computer controls the entire heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system for precise climate control. And as important as any other feature, the body computer has extensive diagnosis capability. By using specially coded combinations of the air conditioning system controls, the service technician can check the function of virtually every system of the car, including the electrical system, powertrain, brakes, and heating and air conditioning. Problems are identified quickly and more accurately, and the result is improved serviceability, whether for routine maintenance or diagnosis and repair of a problem.
So furthermore, we have a gauge scale for all you people that don't feel like getting gas and will ride until the last line. That's for you. You have your oil there, you got your battery volts, you got your temperature. I mean, what else do you need? Well, on top of that, you get a very inaccurate range saying you can go 297 miles. I don't know about that. You also got a fuel economy, which is hilarious because you can get 99 instant miles to a gallon, which is wonderful. I forgot to talk about this, so we're gonna talk about this. You might have been thinking, oh, well that's a very, you don't have an ashtray on this side, but they get an ashtray? Well, don't worry, my friend. You get 2 extra ashtrays for all you cigarette lovers, along with a cigarette lighter. So let's get into the center console now. You don't got that much space. Now let's move into the center console. You don't have that much space, but it's enough. All right, you got a light. That's about it. I put stuff in there. My bad. Now here is your glove box. So the glove box, try finding a Toronado that doesn't have a warped glove box. It's pretty difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. See what it's like. As you can see, we have another poor excuse of a cup holder. Oldsmobile, this is not a cup holder. Why would you do this? You had to push this little thing that says pull right here, or pull it, of course. If I can get it to focus. There we go. You gotta pull that little thing back to get rid of that, which is where you put all your boring information, like your license and registration. You don't put your license in there. Another stupid cup holder with a little bit more depth this time, probably the same amount of depth as you get with this. And mind you, say I wanna stop, that's such a horrible design mechanic. I'm glad he actually put this in, even though it doesn't even fit my drink. What drink is this even supposed to be accommodated for? I've never seen a cup that big, but of course with inflation, everything's getting smaller anyway. Fuse panel, which is so much fun. I'm sure you totally wanna see it. Here it is. I have no clue what in the world they were doing here, and I don't wanna touch it because I don't wanna die. But we're just gonna leave it at that. Here, you can see that you can open the trunk. Some Oldsmobile models, fun fact, right above this, you could open up your gas tank. That's right, they had electronic gas tanks, which is really stupid, but whatever. So let's push this and let's see what the, let's see what the trunk is like. So as you can see here inside of the Oldsmobile Toronado, you get a good amount of space. In fact, I'd say it's a good amount of space. Inside here, I only have a bed, which isn't even mine. This is my friend Jack's. But further, let's get you over here. You may be thinking, Joe, this is way too nice of a car to part out and completely ruin. And you're right. I don't want to do this. But either you find a car that looks like this, or you find a car that doesn't run and has a bunch of screwed up parts. You see, I need a good car to take from, and people that take good care of their cars take good care of the interior. I need new seats in my car. I'm gonna have to put the old ones in this one. I'm still gonna probably sell this one off after I'm done with it, but it's gonna be really sad to watch this thing turned into a worse car. For the sake of saving my red one, which is way cooler anyway, So let's get a proper sound test of this car. So I'm gonna put the microphone right here. I'm gonna pray it isn't too loud for you viewers. So I'm putting it right there. I'm gonna clip it right here. I hope that sounded good. Like, mind you, this is a stock exhaust. It's not gonna sound too great, but let's clip it like that. Okay, it spat out the microphone. I hope you enjoyed my video on the 1986 Oldsmobile Toronado. I hope you enjoy the videos that are to come, my live streams and everything. Everything's gonna become way better, all right? Thank you for watching. Parking brakes on. No, it's not.
The 1986 Oldsmobile Toronado Brougham is the ultimate expression of sporty style, advanced technology, and personal luxury. The Toronado story is repeated countless times every day by every manufacturer of front-wheel drive vehicles. There are many front-wheel drive cars, but only one Toronado. It's an automobile Oldsmobile is proud to offer. It's an Oldsmobile you'll be proud to own.
Like, all right, so over here you have your climate control. Are you still running?